amazing ladies, and welcome to the HerStory podcast. My name is Kylie King, and I am your host today. And I am so excited to be joined by the amazing Amanda Harris from Amanda Harris Healing, who is joining us all the way from the far southwest New South Wales coast. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me, Kylie. I'm super excited to have a chat with you today.
Well, I'm super excited to have you here too. And I would love if you could just tell the listeners a bit about you and what your business does.
Sure. So I'm first and foremost a wife and a mother. So I've got 3 children. We've just had our third bonus baby. So he's only 8 months old, which is amazing. I am a healer, psychic mentor, therapist, and lots of I do a lot of psychotherapy. So I've got lots of tickets that support me in empowering and supporting mainly women. So the way I guess identify myself as a blanket is a healer. I'm a healer. I'm here to heal and empower you to heal and to support people in making really big transformations in their lives.
Amazing. I love that. Congratulations on your bonus baby, by the way.
Thank you so much. I love that we called him that. We've got almost 11-year-old and an 8-year-old, and this little bubba, he had been there for a few years, and my husband had said firmly, no, no, no. And then one day he said yes. And in the little baby came very quickly. So as a psychic and a medium, I feel energy and I feel spirit. And I felt this child around me for a really long time. And when he came in, it was, of course, the perfect time, as it always is. Like I said, many years after I first felt him, but we're having a blast. It's really different, I think, when you've had a big gap and we're really soaking up the whole journey, as opposed to, I think, with the first couple of children, it can be like the trenches, particularly with juggling business and trying to kind of navigate it all. This time, it's a lot more flow, a lot more balance with work, and just a lot more presence.
Beautiful. And you're right. They always come at the right time. No matter how long they've been hanging out, they've been tapping you going, come on, Mum, when you're ready, I'll be ready.
Yeah, I actually said to him a few months before, I was like, look, I'm sorry. Your dad doesn't want you to come into the physical, so you just have to chill with me during his lifetime in the energy form. Like, that's just what we're going to do. And for those of you who are going, what is she on about? I do speak to spirit, and children will, and I'll share this with somebody who obviously needs to hear it because I'm feeling drawn to share it, Kylie. Our children in spirit, they are very, very happy to stay in energetic form, and they will do that because they are with you. They're not missing you. They are not upset that you're not bringing them in. Spirit is just love. We don't have, they don't have the human emotions, right, of like sadness or grief or fear or pain or any of that. So they're very happy to stay in energetic form, and it is often up to our free will as to whether we choose to bring them forward into the physical.
Beautiful. And now he's here and he's having the best time.
Oh, yes. He's here and he is having a blast.
And he convinced Daddy. So good job.
It was actually really good timing because my mother recently passed away. And I said to my husband, how interesting that had we had him earlier, it just would have been different, right? I think that we've absolutely needed this big injection of deep love in our family unit after the loss of my mother. So it is just this perfect timing, right? Perfect timing.
Sorry to hear about the loss of your mom.
Thank you so much, Molly. Thank you. This is all part of the journey, and my business is largely built around grief and built around loss, and I absolutely love supporting others on their journey. And this is not the first significant loss that I've experienced. So my mother did live with us for 3 years, and we deeply supported her, and she's now free from the disease that she had, and she was very, very sick. My whole business was actually born from losing my sister. So I lost my sister when I was 8 months pregnant, almost 8 years ago now. And I was actually a learning support teacher, and it was through my really deep grief journey and, being sort of pushed into the depths of my soul and surviving that motivated me to do this work. It was very much oh my God, I never thought I could survive that. I've survived, and I need to now help other people. I need to let other people know that there is hope. my sister took herself home. So it was very, very traumatic. And we were only a year apart, so incredibly close, had children. We were pregnant at the same time. It was very, very rattling. And I'd been diagnosed with all the things from doctors because I wanted help. I knew I was struggling. And I went to GPs and then to a psychiatrist and psychologist and basically was offered medication and a diagnosis of depression and PTSD and anxiety. And so I just knew within me that that wasn't the answer that I was seeking. So I went on a really deep journey of seeking, and I learned about the brain and about emotions and about grief and about breathing and how connecting with the breath helps you to release and how emotion is, it moves through you. And I went on this incredibly deep journey back home to myself. At one point, I was so unwell that I considered actually leaving the earthly realm myself because I didn't think I could survive the pain that I was feeling. So when I turned the corner, and it was through these very natural therapies that I'd done this. And when I turned the corner and I reconnected with my heart and I'd done all this healing, I just knew it was my purpose. And it was so loud that I couldn't ignore it. It was so incredibly loud. I had this, what people would say was this great job in a Catholic school on good money, and the thing that, the in-laws were really proud of me for. And you could never throw that away. And I actually launched my business full-time at the start of COVID and threw away my learning support teaching. And I have been fully booked from day one because it is so deeply in alignment with my soul purpose, because the driver is so real and so raw and there's so much passion. And I think given that having this connection with the way that my sister took herself home, so she committed suicide, and it was a silent illness for her. Like, we were really, really close, really close. And so for me, it was almost like, I need to honor her. I need to support people who are struggling. I need to be this beacon to show people the way. And it was only once I kind of been in that depth of grief myself and pain and suffering and depression and all those big, heavy emotions that I felt after the loss. It was only once I'd been there that I feel like I was really, truly qualified to support others, right? So I went on a 2-year, deep journey of learning, gathering certifications and looking at what else I could use to support others, and what other sort of, I guess, for lack of a better word, Kylie, like qualifications, right? I wanted to heal myself, but I wanted to be able to bring to the table for my clients, this is what I can do to support you. And when they're in my space, I'm then able to really have that deep empathy and understanding of where they're at, and have the backing of the foundation, I guess, of the qualifications to support me in that.
I think that's so important coming from a coaching space as well, is the fact that, yeah, you can get as many certifications as you want and they look really good, right? Everyone wants to see a cert, or they tell you need to have a cert for a modality and all of that. But I want someone to coach me who's been through the shit and has come out of it, because then I know that they may not have experienced the same, but they have something where they've like, I've hit rock bottom, I face planted that thing, but this is how I got out of it. And this is where I'm going to be like that guiding light to help you get out of it. Because all healing is self-healing. We all know that.
Absolutely.
But sometimes we need that guiding light to take us out of there. And if I'm face planting a rock and I'm in the darkness, I want someone I know who's been through it as well, who has an experience. Not just certificates are great, and I love people that are qualified, but I love the fact that you also have that. I hit this rock. I went through this. I had all bad shit happen, and I'm here and I'm rocking. And you've emerged as this beautiful phoenix to go, dust, I exploded. I'm now this beautiful phoenix. You're at the ash stage. Let me help you come up more.
Right. Let me support you. And I think for me, it's the hope, right? And with the work that I do, there's so much conviction in it, because I know that it works because I healed. And when I say that, I had hit that rock bottom and I had been in that space, I clearly vividly remember having a newborn baby and a toddler and wanting to unzip and escape this human body, because that I struggle to find the words to just how deep and dark I went, right? I remember looking up at my husband's medication, thinking how many of those will I need to take to leave, because A, I can't do this, and B, my children deserve more, right? It was such a dark, deep place. And not only did it give me a deeper understanding of my sister, it allowed me to now know that regardless of where my client is at, I can absolutely support you. There is always hope, because if I could heal when I was in down that deep and dark, if I could heal, then I absolutely know anybody can heal. Anybody, because you cannot go any lower than considering to take your life when you've got 2 children, right? There's no lower point than that, in my opinion, Kylie, and in my experience. So I go, yeah, like, come to me, whatever is happening for you, and let me be the beacon, let me be the hope, because I think ultimately that's what we need. And you're right that certificates are great, and it's funny because when I had my first office, I had them all displayed behind me. All the different I had qualifications and diplomas and certifications, and I had them all displayed behind me proudly. Then I moved offices and I did it again, and then I stopped actually displaying them, because I just swear I was so embodied in what I'm doing that I just went, I don't care. Like, I'm not here to go, hey, like, I've studied. And you're right, like, anybody can study. I think it's the depth that you get from having, I guess, connected with the depths of yourself is what allows me as a healer to connect even with others, right? And I always say that you can only ever connect with others as deeply as you're connected with yourself. So, yeah, you want depth, like, I'm here for you. Like, this is the depth is what I do.
No, I love it. It's absolutely beautiful, because that's exactly who you want. Someone that's they've had the experience, they've come out of it, and now they're doing it. So with your business, you mentioned that lots of different things, but if I was to come and see you, do you have like specific services that I would come and do?
Yeah. Yep. So my main service, the most kind of service, is my Empower You session, and that gives access to everything I do. So I used to have like a psychic reading. Being a psychic medium, I would, just have that. And then I went, I can give more than this. I was having this deep healing session, CTC therapy, which is a deeply holistic healing session. And I went, I feel like there needs to be something in between. So the Empower You sessions is intuitive guidance. We might do hypnotherapy. We might do some EFT or tapping. We might do some deep heart healing or inner child healing. It is always going to be intuitively driven. I do timeline therapy, much like yourself, Kylie. So we go back and locate where the emotion started and clear from that. It's really access to all that I do for an hour. So that's the Empower You session. And when people say, and I love learning, so I'll often have a coach myself. And the main thing I hear is you need to niche down. Who is your, I love that you're laughing at this, because I go, who is your ideal client? And I'm like, a soul. Like, if you are a human being, I'm your person, because, I'm here to assist you in transforming, whether that is your business, whether that's personally in your relationships. Intuitively, I'm able to guide you. I'm able to see past, present, and future, and support you with these tools and strategies to help you transform, right? So if you are human, then I'm here for you. I've worked with animals as well, but mainly humans.
No, yeah, me and Nishin, we've never really seen eye to eye. So that's why whenever anyone mentions it, I think really if you've got a service out there and people are driven to you, doesn't the universe send you to the right people anyway at the right time? I know.
Absolutely.
Like, even if I was to niche mostly, for example, so for those who don't know, I run a hypnotherapy and past life regression business here, but I was like, niching, I'll help women. My last lot of, I'd say for the last 3 months, I've had men showing up.
Wow. Yeah.
Men from different walks of life. We're talking like military, normal walk, all those, but I've had men, so no women. So I feel if I was to niche down and go, I'm only for women, like there's these amazing men that are coming through that are going, no, I want to explore this. I want to get better.
Right.
I have a look, reconnect with myself. They wouldn't have anywhere to go if I was like, only vaginas allowed or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
it's boxing. It's really boxing your gifts, because I'm like you, Kylie, in that I absolutely firmly believe that everybody is going to be a vibrational match. right? So your clients are going to be your people. And so we had a brief talk about this at the start. And this is why it's so important to be authentic in your business. If you are struggling with clients in your business, please first look at, are you being the truest version of you? Because if you are being authentic, you are going to attract the soul clients, the authentic clients. If you are being somebody that you think your clients want you to be, then you're actually going to attract those clients who won't be the authentic match, right? And we spoke about this before. It's so important. I think that niching really limits and puts kind of really rigid, like a lot of rigid energy into a business. And I've been told it over and over, and I blatantly disregard that because, they go, oh, well, you should be just helping people that have lost loved ones to suicide. Yeah, I do that. And what about people who are caring for their mother? So I'm looking at all these big areas. I was also in a violently, abusive relationship in my younger years, in my early 20s. So it's like, oh, support women who are coming out of that, or support people choosing the right career. But why would I just only help that one, the one person? How boring for me as well. I mean, I love that I help all different people, right?
Yes, very much. And someone just said that to me in another episode I was filming, that they don't like to be boxed in. They like to have a variety in their work and what they're doing, or they would go mental, really. That's what they said.
Let me share this. I had 36 jobs before this job. 36 jobs, because I had this very firm belief from a really young age that if I am not happy, then see ya. And so I've been really fortunate to have some incredible experiences and some great jobs, and most of them have been heart-centered or around people. And I work my way to the top quite quickly. Usually that's just the personality that I am. I love learning, and I love leading. And then I get to the top and I'm like, okay, now what? And so that's generally what I would do. And with Miles, one day I could be connecting with somebody's loved one who's passed over and giving them this gift of proof of life after death. And the next day I could be helping somebody develop a business plan intuitively and being given deep insight into what their next best steps are. Like, it's so such a beautiful variety of work. So I would never get bored. Like, I'm 4 years full time and I haven't even had an inkling, like not even an inkling. It's just, I absolutely love it. And I book with me and I've got no idea. I mean, I could probably psychically, tune in, but don't really have the capacity to do that when I'm fully booked. So I'm literally connecting in 5 minutes before each session. I'll sit down and connect in, and it could be any one of many reasons why they've come to me, right? And I love that. I love the variety. It's so spicy and it's so authentic and it's so raw and it's so shifting, but not just the client, but me as well.
Beautiful. So what has been your biggest challenge so far in business?
The most, the challenge is always going to be balance. So I think that when you are in a job that you absolutely authentically love, that it becomes even more challenging to have that balance. I think that when you're in a job that you really don't like, I would imagine it would be more easy to kind of go, oh, I'm just going to work my set hours, not do overtime. But when you absolutely love it, and I think, Kylie, I'm sure you would get this in our line of work, when, you are supporting people so deeply and you're making a really big difference, the challenge often comes around for me every few months to just tighten that in. That is, being able to have those boundaries around my business, being able to say no, being able to say, look, I'm sorry, I'm generally booked out 4 to 6 weeks in advance. So being able to kind of be firm with that, because, my family is number one, and my husband and I made a very firm decision that we will never work full time again. We will literally live in a tent on 2-minute noodles before we work full time again. So I think being, that I love it so much, the biggest challenge is that, and I'm revisiting it again and again, is ensuring that I have the balance. Full transparency, I'll take, say, a week off, and then I'll have a return client, somebody who's a regular, go, oh, hey, can you just squeeze me in? And I'm like, well, yeah, like, why not, right? Like, I've got this space and I know I can help you. So I think it's something that I have to, it's not just a one and done, it's a continual checking in with myself and going, am I being balanced? So it's really important to me that I am at all the school sports carnivals, my children's extracurricular. I'm a very active member in the PNC. These things are really important to me. So it's, balance, like work-life balance.
No, that is a big challenge, especially for a mum in business as well.
Yeah.
Trying to be everything to everyone. So it's good to also keep balance.
Yeah. And I think it's just checking in and being really honest with yourself. My husband's great to bounce off because he can often see my blind spots, right? So he's like, babe, like, you know, you said you were going to have a week off. Like, they'll be okay. Put them in for the next week. So I think, you know, even without him, it's just having the awareness and checking in consistently to go, am I in balance right now? Does this feel in flow right now?
Beautiful. So if we flip the coin, what's been your biggest achievement?
I'm scanning my brain. I mean, I know podcast people can't see me, but I've got the biggest smile on my face right now because I'm so grateful. Like I've really been gifted some beautiful opportunities throughout my business journey. And I think probably the biggest achievement for me, because it was something that I'd wanted for a really long time, was creating a weekend retreat. So I ran my women's wellness weekend, and I actually ran that when I was 6 months pregnant and just absolutely loved it. I had 17 women, including myself, at this incredible spot down here on the far south coast, Client Bush Cottages. And, you know, facilitated a deeply healing and restorative retreat for these women for a whole weekend. And, you know, that's where I shine. I love teaching. And I think when you bring groups of women together to heal, even in your, you know, group, Kylie, when women come together to learn to heal, magic happens. It's that alchemy of, you know, bringing the energies together. So I'm going to say that's definitely, yeah, that's up the top. That's up the top.
Are you doing another one?
Yes, so I will be doing another one. I skipped this year due to family commitments with mum. So we're thinking early next year. We're actually about to embark on a trip around Australia with my husband and my children and I. So we are planning, I think it's going to be the 13th of January for those in the region of the far south coast. And it's Open Up Your Heart retreat or festival. So it's going to be a weekend festival where people can come in and experience, you know, cacao ceremonies and chakra dance and psychic readings, healings, women's circles. So really everything that's going to support you in opening up your heart. And I've got a beautiful friend, she's actually a client turned friend, Krista Scannell, who is also going to be on board for that weekend. So that's coming up in January.
Beautiful. Well, make sure you give me the link so I can pop it at the below this episode. So if anyone wants to come and hang out or check it out, they can sign up.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You can have a giant festival.
Sounds good. The
place. I love that you're embarking on an around the Australian. That's on my bucket list with my girl. Yeah, because I homeschool as well. So
do you?
Yeah. So that's that's on my big ultimate goal is to get like the RV or the caravan and chuck the kids in and then do that as well. So I know you're doing that.
Yeah, it was Zion, our little bonus baby, when he was born, and I knew mum would be leaving soon. I just sort of felt that she would be transitioning, and I just said to my husband, fuck it, like, let's just go. And so we our house to the market, and I'm trusting in divine timing for our house to sell at the perfect time. And as soon as it's sold, like that's it. And I mean, for business, and I'm very blessed that I transitioned all of my work, excepting my retreats and day workshops, to online. So group women's, I do a lot of group healing and group healing programs for women. And I've got a Men's Now membership, which is like Women's Circle online. And all of my sessions are now online. So my business will remain the same. And we'll be traveling around Australia. Like, why not? Like, you know, why not?
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with what you mean. And yeah, that's on our list to do. So maybe we'll see you around, or if you're in the Blue Mountains, stop by.
Oh my God. I've got the Blue Mountains actually, Kylie. So we definitely will be coming to the Blue Mountains. So we'll have to have a couple in person when we come through.
Beautiful.
We've got, you might know the girls, the Sacred Space. So there's Christy and Lucy and they're in the Blue Mountains. Beautiful. Some beautiful work with women as well.
Awesome. I probably have seen them around. I'll have to go stalk them.
They created the Kookaburra Bush School. Well, Christy did that with another friend last year, and then it's moved into women's work. But I think you've got quite a nice community of healers down the Blue Mountains, I hear.
Yes, there is. There's some amazing healers, and it's a very big homeschooling support community here too.
Yeah.
You don't feel like you're ever like the only person flying that flag. There's support, and there's a lot of there's some great women, even in the ALIBI group, who run the homeschooling here. They do like meetups every Thursday, or they'll be like, hey, we're going ice skating, bring your kids. So it's because I think that was my biggest struggle with homeschooling was the social aspect.
Right.
But straight off, we're not sending the kids to mainstream school. Like that was something we thought we'd experiment with, and the kids love it. And my partner, he's the homeschool teacher. He loves it. So it's just keeping that up. But yeah, that is next on our list. So yeah, it's
you're halfway there. We haven't navigated the homeschool. We're in a beautiful small school. We're in a tiny little village, and our principal's amazing. And he's like, you've got to turn up his sleeve. We're very blessed. Our children are at above level. So he's like, I'm not concerned about them. They'll just do journaling, and he knows what I'm like. I mean, they'll be writing, and they'll be having life school, but I'll definitely be in touch, Kylie, for tips, no doubt, when we get past that term. That's going to need it.
Oh, do you know what? I think you'll be absolutely fine, because at the end of the day, every kid learns differently, and that's different. And it's really taking from that unschooling principle, like why homeschool. And as I said, there's heaps of amazing resources and stuff out there. And I know even I have my moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, should I just shove them back into school? And I'm like, no, because they're good, and they're more than what they need to be. And so no. You'll be fine. You'll be awesome.
It's funny, like learning support teacher, give me 30 children that aren't mine, easy. It's like going to your child. When we had the homeschool and I a quote, I was like to my husband, can you do this today? Because they're not listening to me.
And you know what? That's the beautiful thing about kids though. Hey, they're most comfortable and they know how to push your buttons.
That's right.
Once you get around that, you're like, no, okay, that's cool. So is there any advice you wish you were given when you started your business?
I was pretty alert, pretty aware. I think probably the advice that, what I'm hearing is like, you could do it. I think if you believe in what you are doing and you're enjoying what you are doing, then you're 90% there. You can learn the strategy, you can learn the structure, you can learn how to advertise yourself, how to get out there. But if you're enjoying it, if it's something that you thoroughly and enjoy, then know that you can. You absolutely can do it. That's the key to success. It's enjoying it and knowing and believing in yourself.
And the rest will just work itself out.
100%. I'm such a wing it person. I mean, I quit Catholic school teaching to launch this, business in a tiny little town. And it's you have authentically have that joy, that vibration of joy. Yeah, it will work out.
Mm-hmm. I love it. So if you're willing to share, what is your ultimate goal for your business other than traveling around Australia?
Okay. So global is my goal. My goal is to support as many people as I can. So when I look at the women I've worked with, over 1,000 women now. And when I work with these women, I look at this beautiful web, and I know that when one woman heals, it then creates this web from her, right? That it's her friends, her children, her husband, right? It just creates this beautiful effect where it spreads out. So my goal for my business is to be global, to be able to travel the world and speak in person, share my story and, inspire others and support people in waking up and realizing how powerful they truly are. And giving that empowerment, sharing that empowerment on a grander scale. That's my goal for my business. So if you're listening and you've got linked overseas or even locally, please do get in touch. I'm always happy and open to sharing, tips, strategies, support my story in many platforms, because my goal is to reach as many people as I possibly can.
All right. So if anyone's doing retreats, they got memberships, They've got networking events. She's traveling around Australia, guys. She can she can start networking events. Sorry, I'll just keep signing you up for stuff, Amanda. Like if you've got
please do. If you have a crew of staff who you're struggling, you feel that they're not motivated, give me a call. I can come in via Zoom. I can travel to you and support them in, lifting the spirit, right? Helping you motivate them, starting from the inside out. Again, if it's a women's event that you would like support in. And of course, if you're just listening and you're like, I want a piece of that, get in touch. Like, I'm happy to connect as well. This is what I do. This is what I was born to do. When I travel, keep an eye out. You'll see we're going to deck out the caravan and with my signage as well. And my goal is to run women's circles throughout Australia. So I run women's circles already. And I think it's, to have one step ahead and provide this beautiful sense of community and connection for women as I travel around. So keep an eye out.
Sounds amazing. I might just come and board your bus and come along for the journey. Just go away somewhere, wherever it is. So with all of your amazing, everything you've done, all this amazing Empower Her sessions, these women's circles, if you had one tip that you would give to the listeners, that like a taste test of what you do so they come and stalk you, what would it be?
If you are not deeply and authentically happy with who you are and how you are right now, get in touch. Because that's what I do. I'm able to support you in identifying why and to help you with the how. How.
Beautiful. It's a very clear message. You don't need to freaking niche. Look at that. Boom.
That just came. I was like, I don't even know what I was saying, but it just blew out of me. And that's the real joy of being in your purpose. You don't need to prepare questions. I mean, I didn't actually read the questions you're going to ask me, Kylie, because I'm like, it's just going to come from the heart, right? I was interviewed on the radio the other week, same thing. I'm like, I don't need to prepare for anything because it is all within me and I am just sharing from here and I'm pointing at my heart.
Yeah. Beautiful. Awesome. So how do we stalk you? So then if we are unhappy and we need to find out the reason why and how, where do we find you to do that?
You can find me social media, so Facebook, Instagram, or my website, and it's all the same. So Amanda Harris Healing. You can stalk me. You can find heaps of reviews on Google or on my website or Facebook or of course Instagram. I also do run live readings. So my way of giving back to people who maybe, are looking for something a little bit more, but perhaps it's not within reach to have a session with me at this time, which is fine. I run free readings via Instagram as well. So get in touch and you can catch the live readings there and you can receive a card and a little bit of, a little bit of inspiration support that way.
Beautiful. So just on your Instagram handle, Amanda Harris Healing, we can check out for a free card reading and stalk you while we're doing it.
Hey, go ahead, stalk me.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today, sharing your story, sharing all the exciting things you're doing and your ultimate goal. I absolutely love it. I'm excited to see you achieve that.
Thank you so much, Polly. I really, really appreciate the opportunity. And I will see you inside your amazing group.
See you there.